Welcome to a Planet Doug behind the scenes video. I was just about to post something to Patreon and to YouTube posts and perhaps elsewhere. And I just thought it might be interesting to show people what happens behind the scenes when here on Planet Doug I get a thought. I think about something, I notice something, and I want to talk about it and I want to share it with people. What exactly do I end up doing? So I start here, of course, because I was watching this travel video. It's from a new YouTuber that I just started following, a young woman from Singapore. Her channel, you can see down here, is called Wing Outdoor. And she popped up in my YouTube feed because she cycled through Malaysia. And I figured out that her trip was last year. I mean, it's already over, so she's not in Malaysia anymore. So this video was like November 5th, 2025. And so that's when she was in Malaysia on her trip. She rode her bike from Singapore, crossed the border into Johor, like Johor Bahru. And then on this night, she was camping. And I was watching her set up her tent. And I was, of course, with my interest in gear, I'm very interested. Oh, what kind of tent is that? And then I noticed that she has Wing Outdoor tagged products here. So I guess she has an Amazon list, Amazon collection, Shopee collection, and these are the things that she uses. And I guess if you click on these links and then you buy a nature hike product or a Tranja stove or whatever this is, she will get a small commission. Here on Planet Doug, I've never figured out how to do that. I'm so overwhelmed with technology. I've never gotten around to looking at these sorts of affiliate links. I don't know how they work. But what I noticed is that while she was setting up her nature hike tent, an ad showed up at the bottom. And I've never seen this before. So here I am watching her set up her nature hike tent, and suddenly right here. Nature hike, cloud up to tent, upgrade to da 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 da. And it's available on, well, it says it's unavailable on Shopee. But anyway, it's an advertisement for this tent. And I never noticed that before. And it just got me thinking about how over perhaps the last 2 years, I've noticed on YouTube that they are cramming advertisements in everywhere. Like any empty space on the screen and the bottom corners, the top corners, in the middle, underneath the screen, in the video description, everywhere there is an empty space. Somebody at YouTube is trying to figure out how can we jam an advertisement in there. So when I saw that, that's the thought that I had. Like, wow, more advertisements on YouTube. Like, how many advertisements does YouTube need, for Pete's sake? So that was my thought. And while I'm sitting here living that Planet Doug life, I have this thought. I want to rant about it. I want to talk about it. So I want to share it with people. So what I do is make a screen grab. So actually, I don't know if this is going to work right now because I have screen recording already on. So I can't show you how I do a screen grab, but you can just imagine that I make a box around this. I already did it, in fact. So I put a box around this, and then I make a screen grab so that I can post it somewhere else. You just have to imagine that I just did it, because I don't think I can show it to you. And then the first thing I do is go to Patreon. Patreon is sort of where Planet Doug starts. I mean, it hasn't turned into a big thing. I don't think anybody ever visits Patreon. When I post something to Patreon, they get a link as an email, like an email link, and I think they can open it up in their email and say, oh, here's something that Doug posted. But you don't have to go to Patreon to see it. At least I think that's how it works. Anyway, But I usually, with some sort of a random post like this, I start with Patreon. So I have it open in a tab already. So let's go over to the Planet Doug Patreon. And I was thinking this might also be interesting for people. This is on my laptop. Patreon looks different whether you're on a laptop, like on a computer, a desktop, or on a smartphone, but essentially it's the same. But I don't think a lot of people go to Patreon, so I thought it'd be interesting to show you. So this is what the Planet Doug Patreon looks like, more or less, when you go there to visit. So this banner photo, that's something I picked. This banner photo, that's from Sumatra. I'm inside a volcano right here, and this is the view from inside a volcano crater, an absolutely massive one where a lake formed inside. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. So I chose that as a photo. And there's my name, of course, Planet Doug. You can see that the Planet Doug Patreon has 147 members. And since I started it, I've posted 1,002 items. I didn't even know about this, to be honest. When I started thinking about making this behind the scenes video, I came here to Patreon and I went, oh look, 1,002 posts. So this morning, when I posted a couple of items to Patreon, or it might have been last night actually, I broke the 1,000 post mark. So that's kind of interesting. So anyway, here's a little blurb about me and about Planet Doug. And then as you scroll down, you'll see that this is the latest post on my Patreon talking about Otai burgers. And then here's more recent posts. I posted something about a shawarma that I had here, trying to fix the broken mirror on my bicycle. And I made another post about this vlogger that I'm talking about again, this woman from Singapore. And then what a lot of people don't realize is that all the posts on my Patreon are organized in collections. So up here, there's a menu, homepage, posts, collections. And just to show you how Patreon works, I'll click on collections. And what these are, basically, they're like albums. So every time I post something to Patreon, I assign it to a category. So these are YouTube videos on Planet Doug, behind the scenes videos, extended cuts, and then, for example, if I post a photo to Patreon, it goes into the fabulous photos category. If I post something about food, I put it into the fancy feasts category. Pop culture. I haven't been as active on Patreon in terms of all these things, like talking about movies, technology posts. I've just been so busy with other things. But I have 32 separate categories that I've created over time. And every time I create a Patreon post, it goes into one of these collections. So it's just a handy way to organize things. So if you look, say, at fancy feasts and you click on that, it will open up a list of all my posts about food. So here, of course, here's the Otai post about Ramley burgers and Otai burgers. There's the post about my shawarma, a post about a meal that I had in KL, about martabak. These go back to Sumatra when I was in Banda Aceh. So every time I post something to Patreon about food, I add it to my food collection. That's basically how collections work. And then on the collections tab, you can see the list of, this is how I organize all of the posts. And you can go to the posts tab, and here it's basically just a list of all the posts, but not organized by collection. So there's always a pinned post up at the top, and then it's basically like an Instagram feed, and you can scroll down all of my most recent Patreon posts. Here's one. There it is again, the Otai burger, the shawarma, the mirror post. These are the ones that I posted last night. And there's the post about this vlogger. I posted something about this new vlogger that I found, Velo Obscura. And then I posted about Seacology. He's someone that I follow on YouTube as well. And then if I ever post a new video to YouTube, I put a link to it here on Patreon. And I have the video description, and I have the transcript. So you can click on Show More here, and then you see the video description, which is basically copy and pasted from YouTube. And then there is the video transcript. So on Patreon, you can actually come here. Every time I post a YouTube video, you can come here and there will be a complete transcript of the entire video. So it's like a little book, basically. My videos, I'm very talky, obviously. So some of my videos have like 20,000 words long, and it's like reading a book here. So anyway, there's the entire transcript of everything I said in the video, and there is a PDF of the transcript. You can click on this link and download a text copy of this transcript. And then you can go down to my other one, same thing. I posted a video about coming to Port Dixon, getting my bicycle out of storage. So there's a link. You can watch the video here on Patreon, or you can then go to YouTube and watch it on YouTube. It's the same thing. And then there's the video description, and then again, here is the video transcript. So you can read everything here, and then down at the bottom, there is the downloadable PDF. And it goes on and on and on like that. Lately, I've pretty much been posting mainly links to my videos because I've been so busy making videos and that sort of thing. So then you can here we are up at the Patreon main page, and we can go back to the home page. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a glimpse into what Patreon looks like on a laptop. Home page, the post page, collections, the chats, and there's a shop, and then there's a membership page. So anyway, that's what Patreon looks like. And then for me, because I'm the creator of this Patreon, I have a little bit of extra stuff. So over here on the left, you won't see this. These are the menus for controlling the Patreon. And down here is a create button. So what I do, because I want to talk about advertising on YouTube, so I click on the create button and I can go live on Patreon. Patreon actually has a live streaming feature, which I've never used because, yeah, Patreon, as amazing as it is a little bit invisible to most people. Even members of the Planet Doug Patreon probably don't even know this exists. So it's kind of a weird platform from that point of view. Anyway, I can start a live stream, I can post a new product that I'm selling, or I can just make a post. And this is the one that I use all the time. So you click on post, and it will open up a window. And again, this is what I see. This is how you work on Patreon. So I can post a video link, an audio file, an image, another link to the internet in general, an attachment, and more things. But in this case, because I made a screenshot, I want to post an image. So I click on image, and I can embed an URL from the internet, or I can browse my own computer. So let's do that. And these are recent images on my computer, of course. Things that I post already, my Ramley burger, mirrors, things like that. So what I need to do is go to screenshots, because I made a screenshot, and scroll all the way down to the bottom. And it's not, oh, there it is right there. So there is the screenshot that I want to post to Patreon. So I select it, I open it, and it will be at the top of the Patreon post. There it is. So there she is setting up her tent, and then there is the advertisement. And then I have to give this a title and assign it a category, like add it to a collection. So I go over here, add to collection, and I click on a drop-down menu, and I have to select what kind of post is this. And let's see, it's not a video from YouTube. It's not a behind the scenes video. It's not an extended cut. It's not an Ask Me Anything video. It's not a podcast. It's not an update. This one might be a little bit tricky. I'm not sure I even have a appropriate collection. It might fit into like technology. I might put it there, like technology and new products. Something about YouTube technology, something like that. That might be appropriate. Yeah, I don't know if I have a specific collection that suits this topic. But for now, I'm going to put it into the technology collection. And then I will give this a title. And I usually base my title starting with the collection. So I might call it a tech post, and then give it a title, More Advertising on YouTube. And then if I want to say something about the tone of my thoughts, I might say something like how much is enough? Because that's what I'm thinking of. It's like, oh, for Pete's sake, more ads on YouTube? It's like now, because of AI technology and computers are getting more powerful, every time you show something in your video, YouTube can identify it and put an ad of that product. But again, I don't really know how this works. I don't know if Wing Outdoor, this woman, whether she set this up or whether this just happens to everybody, no matter what. I'm not sure. So then I can write my little essay. So I can write something about this post. And I'm going to do that right now. I haven't written it yet. I thought I would just record this process as it happens. So I'm going to write down my thoughts and then I'll come back. Okay, I've written my post. I don't need to read it. If you want to read it, you can go to Patreon or you can go to YouTube posts on Planet Doug. Basically, I wrote out exactly what I've already talked about, that I noticed this new type of advertisement, and I don't really know how this advertisement works. So in these paragraphs, I'm just sort of speculating. Hey, wow, I noticed this new type of ad on YouTube. What's this all about? How does it work? And et cetera, et cetera. So I just talk about it because I have these ideas in my head and I want to talk about them. And then once I've finished adding the photo or the video or the audio, whatever kind of post it is, and I've written the title and I've written the content and I've selected a collection, now I can publish it. And here I have a lot of choices, of course, because on Patreon, you can assign different types of content to different types of tiers, right? So if you join Patreon, you can get bonus content, bonus videos, bonus photos, all these sorts of things. But on the Planet Doug Patreon, what I've noticed over time is that most of the members, I would say all of the members, don't really aren't that focused on bonus content. So when I would post a bonus video only for Patreon members, all that would mean is that nobody watched the video. It would get 0 views, literally. So you lose motivation for providing or putting a lot of hours into creating bonus content that just sits on Patreon and nobody ever sees it. Nobody knows it's there. And to be honest, I don't think anybody even wants it. So the Planet Doug Patreon and Planet Doug in general has moved into a new philosophy where all the content I produce is free everywhere to everyone all the time. So Patreon is just one place where you can see and interact with and consume Planet Doug content. And you could also consume that same content on YouTube, on Buy Me a Coffee, on Substack, even on the Planet Doug website that nobody knows exists either. And the idea is, like I said, all of the Planet Doug content is free to everyone, everywhere. But if you wish to support me and support the Planet Doug channel, one of the ways you can do it is by joining Planet Doug Patreon as a paid member. And I have different tiers for that. So you can choose to join the forest planet, the city planet, the ocean planet, the mountain planet, and then that corresponds with a certain level of financial support. But by doing so, it isn't based on getting all kinds of perks and benefits and bonuses, because as I've said, over time, it seemed to me that Patreon members are not that concerned about it, to the point that even posting bonus content just goes unnoticed. Nobody ever clicks on it or sees it anyway. So anyway, that is the Planet Doug philosophy these days. So as you can see, the default setting up here is the audience for this post. I have it set to free access so that anyone who goes to the Patreon, whether they're a paying member or not, they will all be able to see this post. But if I wanted to assign it to a paid tier, then I can select paid access. So just as an example, since this is a behind the scenes technology video, let's choose that. So now I've chosen that this post is only available to official Patreon members who joined a tier. So paid members, and then I can select who has access to it. So I could select only the forest. Well, I guess I'm deselecting now. I could say that this post is only for members of the ocean planet. So they are the only people that can see it. Or I can say only the city planet. Or I can say forest, city, ocean, and mountain. So these are the people that can see it. So as you know, you can pick and choose who has access to the post if you choose paid members only. In this case, I'm going to go back to the top and select free access, and then I can decide what to do about emails and notifications. So here I can choose allow members to be notified. And this is an important point where it says allow, because members can choose whether or not they want email notifications. I post a lot. So like if I post 5 items in a single day to Patreon, you're going to get 5 emails. And then people might say, well, for Pete's sake, Planet Doug, will you please stop too many emails? So you can turn off, or you can turn on or off whether or not you are notified by email every time I post something. So that is your choice. And then if you've chosen to be notified, then I can say, okay, allow members to be notified if they so choose. And I always have that on. And then email options for members with access, that in the email, I can decide whether you only get a preview or whether you get to see the whole post. And right now, to be honest, I don't know why this is grayed out. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. So since this is a free post, I cannot do preview only. So if you have free access post, then the entire post goes in the email. And I think that is one reason why so few people ever visit Patreon, because they're going to get an email about this post and they'll see the photo and all of this text will be in the email. So they might look at the picture, they might read the title, they may skip it, or they may read what I wrote, but all of that is in the email. So there is no incentive to go to Patreon because all of the content is in the email already. So that's an interesting thing about Patreon. So now, as I said, free access, email notification. I've already added it to a collection. And then I can choose a publish date. So I can choose a date in the future or even in the past. But of course, I'm just going to post it right now, so I don't choose anything there. And I can choose whether to allow comments or not. And of course, I always allow comments. Here on Planet Doug, we love comments. Love, love, love comments. And I can add tags to it, things like that. So that's what's over here. Up here at the top, I can preview the post. This is quite interesting, so let me show you how that works. So this allows me to see what you see. So anyway, this is the desktop view. I love the desktop view, full-sized picture, big text, kind of widescreen for reading. There you go. And then mobile web, this is how it looks on your phone. Right, okay. And that's a smaller photo. The title is kind of jammed into a narrow column, and the text is not as wide. And then you have a show more button. You can read the whole thing, show less. And then you can add a comment. You can like it. I guess this would be a comment button right there. And then you can love it, heart it if you wish. Same thing up here, and some more controls. Full access, yeah, so mobile web full access. So that's pretty much it. That's what the preview. I can see desktop and I can see mobile. And once I'm done with that, make sure everything is okay. I've already proofread it once. I'll proofread it a second time probably before I send it out. I normally do 2 proofreadings because I do not like typos and I don't like grammar mistakes or anything like that. So I'll probably proofread it again, and then I'm done with the preview and I'm back here. So I'm going to proofread this one more time, but I'll jump ahead so you don't have to watch me or listen to me proofreading. Okay, I did a quick proofreading, and one thing I decided to do is add another image, because I say here, I'm referring to this new advertisement, and I say you can see it up there, but maybe it's not that clear to people, so I want to insert a photo where I zoom in. And in order to do this, I have to go find the photo so that I can edit it. Got to go back to screenshots, get down to the bottom where I can find it. So here it is here, the screenshot. No, right, this is the one that I used. So now I have to open it up on my computer and edit this because I want to highlight just this part at the bottom. So edit this video, and we are going to crop in on this advertisement down at the bottom to make it more visible. Let's see. Let's make it a little bit 16 by 9-ish. I don't have to zoom in all the way. Yeah, let's right about there. So you can see, I think, that this is the video. There's the bottom of the tent, and then there's the ad. And I want to keep this. So that's okay. And of course, I have to save a copy of this. And of course, I have a million folders. So these are where I keep Patreon pictures and graphics. So I've got to give this a name. Close-up of nature hike tent advertisement. And save it. So now I have it here. And now I go back to my Patreon post, And Patreon is a really powerful site. It's such a shame that it isn't active. Like, it's such an invisible platform, which really is a shame. But one of the main reasons I start with Patreon is because it's so powerful and so easy to use. So now here I want to insert the photo. I just click on that plus and I can insert an image, a paywall, another video, an audio file, a button, attachments. I mean, look at that. It is so well designed. I'm always impressed with Patreon. So I want to insert an image. So I can drag something here. Maybe dragging would be the easiest way at this point. No, I think I already closed it. But anyway, I can select my image file. So now I have to go find it. Patreon pics, and I called it, oh, there it is, close-up of nature hike tent advertisement. So now it inserts the photo here. Right there. So now I say, you can see it up there, and then I have an image to show what I'm talking about. And you can even click on the photo right here, and I can align it to the left, center, to the right. I can add alt text, and I can write a caption. So I'll just call this new type of advertisement placement on YouTube. And I can still crop the photo. If I don't like it, I can add a link so that if you click on the photo, it takes you somewhere. I've never done that, to be honest, but let's, yeah. There's no, one thing about Patreon that I've noticed, if you want to use Patreon, one thing to figure out or to realize is there's almost never a save button. Everything you do is saved in real time. Like there, it just says saved 20 seconds ago. So I'm looking here, I want to save my changes, but that's not how Patreon works. So you don't save your changes, you just exit out. And once you've exited out, I mean, it's just automatically saved. But just to dive as deeply into this as I can, why don't we try to turn this into a link? Like this photo takes you to the video I'm talking about. I've never done this before, so I'm doing this in real time. Let's add a link. Oh, very, very simple. So let's go to, I think I still have the video open. So here is the video in real time. So I just have to get a link and then go back to Patreon, insert the link. Now here, you do have a save button. And that's it. So now we close the editing. So now this is a clickable link. I don't know how well it works, but so I've got the photo, I've got the caption, and it's clickable. So anyway, I'm all done with this post. I'm happy with it. And now double check free access, added to a collection, allow comments, scan up and down. Yeah, everything looks good. So now I click on publish, and it will be live on Patreon. And Patreon is kind of interesting. It gives you a promo card, so I can download this picture, which is like an advertisement for Patreon, and you can also copy a link to this post. So I can take this image and this link, and then I can put it on other platforms. Now, this gets into something interesting because now I have a choice to give you some insight into how a YouTuber thinks, because this is a free post. I also want this post to be available on YouTube, right? Because if it sits only here on Patreon, let's go to the home page just for fun, and you can see the new post live. So there it is. So there's my latest post on Patreon. Everything's looking good. Yeah, there it is. And if I click on it, it opens it up. Yeah. Yeah, this is a little bit I don't really like how this looks. It looks like it's a new heading. It doesn't look like a photo that I've inserted. But anyway, we're not working on too professional a level here, so I'll just leave it like that way for now. I think everything here looks good. So what I can do now, and this is what I want to do, is copy and paste everything that's here to YouTube. So do I have my own channel open? Yes, I do. So here is, let's go all the way to the Planet Doug homepage. So here's Planet Doug, and I want to put my new post here, and you put it, of course, in posts. So I click on YouTube posts, and this is where I get really annoyed with YouTube, because they talk a lot about how they're creating community, engage with your audience, do this, do that, but they're very limited in the tools that they offer. So like if I compare this YouTube posts to Patreon, I mean, it's ridiculous. Patreon is so much better. Here on YouTube posts, my photos are turned into squares. And then if I click on them, they stay a square. Like I can't even put in the full 16 by 9 photo, which is kind of ridiculous. And it just has no tools at all. So if you compare what's here, what I can do in YouTube posts with what I can do on Patreon, oh my goodness, look at that. I mean, they're leagues apart. I wish all of this capability, all of these tools were available on YouTube, but they aren't. It's very, very simplistic. Anyway, what I have a choice now. What I can do is put a link to Patreon here. So I can say people, oh, there's a new post on Patreon. If you want to read it, click on this link. So it's like an announcement. But I don't really want to do that because people don't want to do that. When people are on YouTube, they want to stay on YouTube. And I don't want all this work to go to waste. I want to share it with everybody in case anybody is interested. So what I want to do is recreate my Patreon post on YouTube. So what you do, of course, is you've got to open it up so you have full access. And then I just basically copy and paste. So I'll just try to, I'm not sure how it's going to work with that image. Copy all of this, copy, and then I put it on here, just insert it. But yeah, see, the image doesn't show up. So there's a big limitation on YouTube. It doesn't even allow you to insert the photo. But oddly enough, it does carry over the caption. So even though the photo isn't here, I can see that the caption is here. So I've got to delete the caption. And here, you can't even tell whether there's paragraph spacing or not. I know from experience that there is paragraph spacing. It's embedded, but it doesn't show up here because YouTube is, I mean, its focus is on video, not on text. So this is not very well done. But what I want to do, of course, is insert an image, and then I have to go to my computer and select the image. And then what I want to get is, yeah, the original. Did I put it here or is it on the screenshot? Still on screenshots, I think. Yes, this photo, the main photo, I want to upload it to YouTube. So there it is. And you can see it got cut off on the left because, yeah, it only accepts square images. So then you kind of have to decide, you know, what part of the photo do you want to show? And I wanted, of course, to show all of this. But again, it annoys me that YouTube forces me to crop in on the photo because quite often you can't. Anyway, and then I save the preview. This is another thing about YouTube. It's so poorly designed. every time I'm working on the photo, I accidentally click on the post button. Like all I want to do is save the preview, but I accidentally click on post before I'm ready. I do that all the time. You got to be careful to save the preview. And now, even on a YouTube post, there's no title, right? On Patreon, it's set up like a website, and you can insert a title. But YouTube post doesn't let you. The best you can do is get the title, copy it, and then just put it in at the top. And that's it. That's all you can do on YouTube. And yeah, I can't preview it, I don't think. There's a post, but there is a drop down. Oh, I can schedule it. Okay, that's cool. And that's pretty much it. So now that I have this set up on YouTube posts, I scan it, make sure I didn't make any mistakes. And I suppose I could insert a second photo of the close-up. Why don't we do that just for fun, just to be complete? And started with an A, right? Advertisement. Close-up, there it is, close-up. So let's add a second photo. Oh, there you go. It exceeded the aspect ratio limit. So I guess that weird shape that I chose, again, it won't be accepted on YouTube. So there again, you run into another limitation. Anyway, I'm all done, and I can just click on post. And now that it is here, I can look at it. So there it is. This is how it looks on YouTube. I can click on read more. And that's where the photo was with the caption. And it inserted an extra paragraph break, which is really annoying. But you can see it does insert paragraph breaks. You just can't see them when you're editing. But now I have to re-edit this to get rid of that extra break because it annoys me. As a long-term English editor, I think details are important. And weirdly enough, again, YouTube doesn't say save your changes. It just says post. So it feels like I'm posting all over again. But all I really did was edit. But anyway, we post it again. And there it is. But of course, even though Patreon in every way is superior, if you're looking for engagement, then you turn to YouTube. So even though I think this looks terrible, here, like this is what I posted about my shawarma, 10 likes, 2 comments, 4 likes, 8 likes for my my otai burger. So, you get a little bit of feedback, a little bit of engagement with a YouTube post. And on Patreon, you generally don't get any. It's sort of an invisible website. So, yeah, my shawarma post. So that is basically what I do if I do a Patreon and YouTube post. But I'm not done yet. If you're interested in the full behind the scenes look, you can continue with me. Just as an experiment, I also opened up a Planet Doug Substack. And I'm interested in Substack, and I just thought I might as well open a Planet Doug Substack just in case it becomes popular. So I do. This is behind the scenes on the Substack. So this is the menu where I control everything. So I would make a text post, and basically I do the whole thing all over again. So I can go to Patreon, look at this post, and then I just copy and paste. I copy and paste the title, put it into Substack, And then I put in the photo and the text. Here is a photo. I can insert my image, go back to screenshots. So I basically do it all over again for Substack. So there's the photo. But you notice that it is full size, which is better than YouTube posts. And then I go back here and copy and paste the text. Again, I don't know whether this inserted photo is going to show up. I'll bet it will. I think I remember that it works. So I just come here and paste. So yeah, much better than YouTube. It keeps the paragraph spacing, inserted the photo, has the caption. Everything is ready to go. So boom, I'm done with Substack. And I go to continue, and I have to choose, is this for everyone or only paid subscribers? I haven't turned on any kind of a payment for Substack. So allow comments from everyone, send to everyone now, and I can add like subscribe to my channel buttons. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So now my post is live on Substack. So you click on my profile, there's my little graphic. I'm a YouTuber and hobbyist photographer, and I enjoy the occasional long bike tour. And basically, I have a Substack newsletter, and you can subscribe to my newsletter, and then all of the posts that I put everywhere else, I also add to Substack. I've been doing this for a while now, just curious how it goes. And there is the Planet Doug Buy Me a Coffee. And Buy Me a Coffee is similar to Patreon, but it's just not nearly as advanced. It's not nearly as developed or powerful. And it has one big problem for me in that it logs me out every single time. So here it is, the Planet Doug Buy Me a Coffee. This is the last post that I put onto the Buy Me a Coffee. But you can see up here it says log in. So I can't add another post until I log back in. And I can't stop it. It always logs me out, and it drives me crazy. So anyway, give me a minute here. I'm going to have to log back in. I'll be back in a second. All right, I logged in. And as I said, as soon as I leave this tab, it logs me out. It drives me crazy because those little irritations add up over time and really slow everything down. But anyway, create a post, and you have a choice. This is very similar to Patreon. It's not nearly as powerful as Patreon, but it's way more powerful than YouTube. So it's yeah, a little somewhere in between. So I'm going to make a normal post here, and going to put in a image. Of course, I need my image. This image is getting a big workout here. So I add the image, copy and paste the text. Still uploading the image. There we go. All done. Add the text. Looks pretty good. It added the inserted photo, which is nice. And there it is. And now I need the title. So we go back here, copy paste the copy paste the title. And then also I have categories here, and I've tried to keep the categories matching Patreon, so it's the same everywhere I go, but I've lost a little bit of control. But I do have technology and new products, so that's the category, and that's essentially it. I mean, you can do some bold italics, you can format things here if you wish. And the caption didn't appear as an actual caption, so I think I'm going to get rid of that because it's just a little bit confusing. Why is it just sitting there, not attached to anything? And there we are. who can see this post, public, followers only, supporters only. And again, my new Planet Doug philosophy is all content is free everywhere to everyone, so I don't restrict it behind a paywall. You can support me on Buy Me a Coffee if you wish, but it doesn't mean that if you don't, then you're locked out and you have no access. Everybody has access to everything. So publish now, and now your post is live, and then I get a link if I want, all that kind of stuff. And there's even one more. Since I've already started this process, I might as well dive all the way in. I even have a Planet Doug website, and it isn't very developed because I just don't have time to figure out WordPress. I find WordPress so complicated. But, I use the website for other reasons. I keep thinking that if, say, Planet Doug becomes popular in some way, well, it's nice to have a website because you can incorporate that into your brand, right? But of course, that has never happened. So the website doesn't really have much function, but I maintain it. I keep it going and add let's go to viewing. Again, we're behind the scenes here, so you are seeing what I see. We're deep into the control pages of WordPress, but basically add post. So I want to add a new post, and I basically do the same thing all over again. I guess I do it 4 times. So here's the title. I know I already just copied and pasted it, so it's already in memory, I think. So yeah, I don't have to redo anything. And now I want to insert a photo. Drag and drop. So yeah, just drag and drop the photo, put it at the top, wait for it to upload. It's just been a while since I've inserted a photo. I'm usually inserting video links, so that's why I couldn't quite remember how to do it. So now we need the text. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the inserted photo. WordPress can be really tricky. It likes some things and it hates other things. But yeah, it inserted the photo. It didn't identify this as a caption, I don't think. So over here on WordPress, I also have the categories. So there it is, technology and new products. I select that. But you have to go one extra step on a blog. I need a featured image for the thumbnail. In this case, it works out pretty well because I've already uploaded an image. So it's in my media library. So I select this photo that's in the post as my thumbnail for the image. That's the featured image. So I set the featured image. And years ago, probably 2 years ago, I tried to link Patreon with WordPress. And there is technology to do it. There's a very high-powered plugin that automatically takes everything you put on Patreon and puts it on your WordPress website automatically. And I spent weeks trying to get it to work. And it just about drove me into an early grave. It would never work, no matter how much research, how much experimenting I did. I could not figure it out, and I just gave it up. So now I just do it manually. So now that everything is done, I've got the title, I got the image, I've got the text, and I have the featured image. Now I just click on publish, and it tells me, are you ready to publish? Are you sure? And of course, I can do all the visibility things like who can see it and publish immediately. I can set a date in the future if I want, but I just want to publish immediately and publish. So there it is. And if I want to see it in my list of posts to make sure everything is okay. There it is right there. I'm scanning the screen here trying to make sure I don't show anything private or sensitive, but I don't think so. Everything here is available on the website anyway. And this is just the normal WordPress dashboard over here. And if I want to see the site, I can just click on Visit Site, and we can see how it looks in the real world. So here is the Planet Doug website. Very, very simplistic because I haven't done any work on it at all. It just says Planet Doug, living that Planet Doug life. And then it's just like Instagram. It's just a long feed of all the posts, exactly the same as you would see them everywhere else. The website is a bit of a mess because I just don't have enough time to work on it. And so here is the post. And if I want to open it, of course, you just click on Continue Reading. And that's how it looks. I really like it. I mean, nice big image. One problem, and I've never been able to figure this out, is that it automatically duplicates the picture because I set a featured image and I put that image into the post. So it shows it to me 2 times, which I find really annoying, but I guess I just don't have a big enough brain. No matter how long I've researched this, I have not figured out a way to stop this from happening. But anyway, nobody ever visits this website anyway, so it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And then there it is there, and then people can read it, and then they can leave comments and things like that. But yeah, I find WordPress is incredibly complicated, incredibly difficult to understand, and I encounter technical problems here all the time. So I just do the basics, and if it isn't actually exploding, then I just leave it alone. Like nobody visits the website, it serves no purpose, so I don't really worry about it that much. So anyway, I think that takes us to the end. I wasn't going to go into it quite that much, but just to recap, all I wanted to show you was what happens when I get an idea in my head. Like I said, I was actually just watching this video. I watched it only to this point. I saw that ad. It's like, hey, look at that. A new ad on YouTube. And that got me thinking about it. And I wanted to investigate it and talk about it. So as soon as I had an idea, then I went to Patreon. I created a Patreon post. Then once I'm finished the Patreon post, I copy and paste it to make it a YouTube post right here. And once I'm done there, I copy and paste it to make a Substack post. And when I'm done there, I make a Planet Doug website post and then a Buy Me a Coffee post. And it normally doesn't take this long. I'm on autopilot now. And I just go boom, 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 and I'm done. And then I move on. And I'll probably go back to this video. And where is it now? Wing Outdoor. There she is. Now I'll just make a cup of coffee, click on the play button, and I'll watch the rest of her video. And then maybe if I have something else I want to talk about, I will go through all of that process all over again. But anyway, the only people that would enjoy this video, of course, must be extremely technical people who are interested in behind-the-scenes technology, how everything works. I'm not an expert in technology. I'm sure I'm doing everything the worst, most inefficient way, but that is what is going on behind the scenes on Planet Doug, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it helped you understand Patreon a little bit more. I mean, if you are already a Patreon member, yeah, just remember that it's here. Come check it out. Click on posts, click on collections, click on the chat, the shop. Just roam around and hang out here and see what the Planet Doug Patreon is all about. All right, that's it. Shutting down the live recording. I'm recording the screen of my laptop. And I'm turning that off, and I'll see you in the next video.